Hi! In the first 5 lessons we've been concentrating on notes that we play in the right hand. So lesson 6, it's time to get started in the left hand. Now, how do we write notes in the left hand? Well, we still use the 5 lines of the stave in exactly the same way as we did in the right hand, but you remember that we learnt that, for now anyway, the right hand notes are in the treble clef, the curly whirly sign that we have at the beginning of the stave. The left hand notes are written in the bass clef. So let's start off by discovering what the bass clef looks like. Here's a bass clef. So you see how I'm drawing this? It's a sort of sign just like that inside the stave. And then I have to put 2 dots. And they have to go, those 2 dots have to go either side of the 4th line up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's line 4. 1 dot just below line 4 and the other dot just above line 4. And then we know that we're looking at the bass clef. And for the time being, that's telling us to play notes in the left hand. Now, when we started lesson 1, we learned about the note middle C in the treble clef. And you remember in the treble clef, middle C is down here. Well, in the bass clef, middle C looks exactly the same, but instead of being underneath the stave, it's on top of the stave. So here is middle C in the bass clef. So, middle C, exactly the same note. We were learning in the previous lessons that middle C is just here, and we've learned to read it in the treble clef, and we've learned to play it in the right hand. Now we're learning to read it in the bass clef, and we're going to play it with the left hand. So just put your left hand on the keys in exactly the same way that you put your right hand on the keys. So it's exactly the same idea, relaxing the shoulders, keeping the elbows free, having a nice floppy wrist, letting those fingers dangle like that, putting your thumb on the C, and then having fingers 2, 3, 4 and 5 so your fingertips are on the keys. But of course, middle C with the thumb is now the highest note, or the note furthest to the right on the keyboard that's got your thumb, and the other notes are going down to the left of middle C. In the right hand we had the other notes going up from middle C, didn't we? In the left hand we've got the notes going down from middle C. But just get used to finding middle C with the thumb in your left hand and just get used to playing that. Now if you're left-handed, you might find this slightly easier than you did when you were doing it in your right hand. If you're right-handed, you may just find this a little bit harder, but I'm sure you'll soon get used to doing it. So just practice playing a few C's with the left-hand thumb. Remember, we're not pressing on the keys, we're almost stroking the keys a little bit with that thumb, and listen to the sound that you're making. Sometimes you may play a note that hardly sounds because maybe there's not quite enough pressure on the note. Other times you may play a C that's really very loud because you've gone at it a little bit too enthusiastically. So try to be able to play C's that sound quite even and see if you can get nice control over those C's by slightly stroking the key with the side of your thumb. Okay, so that's C and middle C in the left hand in the bass clef. So let's see if we can come up with a fairly simple tune that uses middle C. So I'm going to turn this middle C into a minim, and then we'll have another minim, and then let's have a dotted minim next, followed by a crotchet, and then maybe another 2 minims, and then finally we'll have a semi-breve in the last bar. So There's our piece using middle C in the left hand. Now let's just be entirely sure about this rhythm before we do anything else. So I'll count to 4 and we'll clap the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you're happy with that rhythm, we can move straight on. If anything went wrong there, you can always repeat that little bit of the lesson and just get very happy about it. The bit of rhythm to watch out for is the 3 beats on the dotted minim, isn't it? And then the crotchet may just feel a little bit fast after all these longer notes around, so make sure you've counted that bar particularly well. When you're ready, we're going to try playing the notes. Here we go then, all set for C. Remember, you need to play this in your left hand because we're in the bass clef. Here's 4 for nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, play that over again if you want to be sure about it. And when you're ready, we can play today's duet. So you play your part and I'll play mine. I'll count 4 for nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So have fun learning to play middle C in the left hand.